Well, good afternoon, everybody. How is things? I was hoping it was going to be a bit warmer today. Didn't they say we'd got some sort of heat wave coming? It's quite obviously not not hit up here yet, but we can live in hope. It's as long as it doesn't rain and we get flooded, that's not a problem. So what are we going to be doing today then? Okay, I thought I'd work with a cream tile, a regular one, but please feel free to use whatever colour tile you like. I've got my pen, pencil, tortillon, and I thought today, being that we've been seeing the kois, those lovely watercolours over the last few sort of shows, I thought I'd bring some of those in and just show you how I could use them on a tile. But I hope you've got a pen and pencil with you today. What I would suggest, even if you're not going to join in and draw it straight away, I'd perhaps pick up a piece of paper, a scrap piece and a pencil, and just have a go at sketching this one before you actually do it. Because it's, we've got to focus on this one. I just thought we'd be up for a challenge. So, of course, we'll be fine. Just take it one step at a time, but it might take a little practice. Okay. Having said that, we'll be fine. It'll be fun. So, all right, I'm coming straight in with a border. Oh, hi there, everybody. Hi, Garth. Nice to see you. I hope you're feeling better. I know you're a little bit unwell, so I hope you're okay. I know that your parcel's left today. The Hermes guy came really early today. Thank you, Yvonne. So I haven't got as many parcels out as I was hoping, but we're aiming to get everything out tomorrow, so it won't be long. Okay, just gonna put my pen away for a minute, and I'm gonna start with my pencil. I'm gonna make it. Oh, what do you think of the board? The board's coming on. There it is. I keep doing little bits. Oh, hello everybody. Hi, there's a couple from America. Hope you're okay. All right, so I've got a bit of a border going on. I'm in with pencil. Now, I've seen this done a couple of times, and sometimes they say, oh, we'd rather you go a little bit bigger. You can do it to any size grid you like, but I've found that I like it better. I think it looks a bit nice if we go just a tad smaller. So you see what I'm doing is I'm breaking my space up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaps, okay? So if I turn my tile, I'm going to do the same here. Okay, and of course you're going to do it a lot lighter than me because you only want this sort of in the background. It's not going to be there forever. Don't worry if some are a little bit bigger than others. Just break it up sort of. And then you see I'm using another tile. And you see there where I'm actually lining it up with the ends, just so I get a straight line. But of course, if you want to do this by hand, but I would suggest that for this one you do use a straight edge. It's going to be one of those grid ones that you don't really see the grid after, but you definitely need it to start with. Okay. Right, so there we are. I'm just sort of lining that end up. There we go. So I've got 6. See, that one's a bit bigger than that. I don't mind. It's fine. It's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you do it by eye, and you can change it if you like. But I'm not measuring. I'm not going back to measure. There we go. See this one? But as I say, you do it lightly because you don't want to be seeing this grid afterwards. Oh, bit of a wobble. Okay, there we are. All right. Okay, so there we go. We've got our grid. Pretty straightforward, exactly the same as what we've done in the past. So I'm going to come in with my pen now. And what I'm liking to do is find sort of the middle and add a bubble. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fill that in with some black ink as I'm going. Okay. I know, grids already. I know some of you love grids. And this particular tangle, once you've actually done it, there's so many things you can do with it as well. You can tangle within the tangles, or you can just do part of your tile as a grid and then do something else elsewhere. But I think today, this one's one of those one of those tangles that I want you to get to grips with, so we're going to do it across the whole tile so you get the idea. Okay. See, I've just noticed Richard's name popping up there. Hello, Richard. I think your board is pretty spectacular. I don't know if everybody's seen his board. He has posted to show it off. It's got a bit more colour on than mine. I do love those poppies that you've done at the bottom. I think they're really nice. You've got all sorts of things going on. Even a little ladybird kicking around in there. So, see, I do look. I don't always go through and answer everyone, but I do look and I like what I see. Okay. So far so good. Now if you wanted these exactly in the middle, of course you could actually come in and do this in the little crossing, so you've got the centre. But don't worry, I always go for the about, you know what I'm like. But if you wanted to be exact, then you could do that. Okay. Almost done. See, so far so good. And here's me saying, oh, you're going to have to focus on this one. You'll be fine, just sort of follow along. Here we are. Okay. Alright, so first job then. Now, I'm going to come a little bit larger. And I'm just going to focus sort of down one side. Now, you might find this easier to work on the down the left-hand side if you're right-handed. But being that I'm left-handed, I'm going to sort of work down this side here, okay? So if you imagine, actually if I do it in pencil just to sort of start us off, imagine you've got an imaginary line here. Okay, so if I put a mark there, you see? And then this one here. So I'll put a mark there, you see? And then I'm going to put a curve between the two. Okay, looks like a smiley face, doesn't it? And then let's do another one here. So again, just imagine even if you've got to put a little mark, and then one here, look, see, and then one line. Okay, and then same across these. So again, a little mark, and a curve. Okay, so there we are, we've got that kind of shape all the way along. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work from, it doesn't matter where, we'll start here, and I'm going to bring it round and up, but I'm going to sort of come, let's think, I'm trying to think halfway, maybe not halfway, maybe a little bit further that way, see there? So I'll just mark that side as well. So I'm going to come round and up there, see? And round and up there. So now I'm going to just add in a little bit of a triangle there, see, and fill it in. Okay, next one then. So sort of imagine that again. I mean, it's not exactly the same, don't worry about it. Curl from the bubble. Or again, if you prefer to come this way, that's absolutely fine, you can do it that way. You're all right, you're welcome, Richard. It's fab. There we are. Okay. And then the same again. So if you feel that you need to mark it first, that's fine. You see, just little nicks there. You can come this way if you want, but I always prefer to go from the bubble up. All right. And let's then just look, I'm just putting those little triangles at the side, so I've got fill in. There we go. All right, so far so good. Okay, so I'm going to turn it this way now. I just find it easy to draw this way. And now looking at my next row, I'm not going to go directly underneath this one. I'm going to miss a dot and come to this one here. So same as before, look. See, there's my line there, there's my line there, and I'm going to put a curve. Okay, so you can see how it's sort of coming through there. Oh, hey, Mom. Didn't know you were going to join us today. And then one there. Okay. So let's have a look at that. Coming in a little bit. So you see how it's sort of in between those two. So you are really going to get a little bit of one here, aren't you? add a little bit of one here as well. So if we imagine it was carrying on. Okay. So around and then up to this one. Let's put that little line in there. And then again, if you feel that you need to mark it so you know where you're headed, that's fine. But I'm just coming in there, doing them freehand now, okay? And up and around. And same this side. Alright, so far so good. We're just going to keep repeating and just following that same pattern there. Okay? So then I'm going to turn it round again. And then this time the next row. So from here, you see I'm not doing this side, I'm going to come up where I first started. So there's my first, you see, curve between the two. So again, curve between the two. Another curve. So if you look at it this way, there we go. You see it's now underneath that one. So curl up and up. And I'm just going to add that little triangle on the end there. And then curl up and up. Okay. So we've definitely got a pattern forming now. So if you were to sort of guess what the next bit would be, we're going to sort of repeat line 2. And of course, remember we've got sort of a part of one here. And then curl there. Just little curves on there, look. And then again a part of one there, isn't it? Okay. Oh, Rose. I would have to ask our Leslie, because she's the one that found them and brought them. I don't think they were very expensive, but they're absolutely excellent. I'll see if I can get hold of some, but she was the one that found those. She's like that. She just suddenly comes up with these fantastic things. You're like, look what I've found. She's busy packing away today. We've both been packing, but she's carrying on while I'm here having a sit down. There we go. You see, so there's my curves again. All right. And then up as before. So just sort of, say, going across the whole tile. I mean, you could do this as just a section of the tile and add something else in, or you could have it in the middle and create a different frame around it. But of course it's kind of nice to do this, and then if you choose to, you can take it a step further and you could add tangles within tangles, and I'll explain that a bit more. Okay, so last one then. So we're not underneath here, see, we're back to this curve here, and then one there, and a bit there. Okay, and then in and along. There we go. And there we go. Oh, it's lovely to see the messages coming in and the good get well wishes and everything. It's nice that you look after each other. Okay. So there we go. That's our sort of first section. All right. Okay, deep breath. So now, it doesn't matter which way we turn it, but I'm going to turn it on its side like that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is, see where we've got these curves here with the little triangles at the end? I'm going to bring in another curve that way. Okay, so we've got a bit of like an opposite going on there. Let's just put that one in there as well. And then again here. Okay. And then again, a little one here. So then let's go to the next row. And this one. and this one. This one. And then of course we've got these. We've got one here. There we go. So I'm just adding that sort of mirror image, isn't it? Just the curve meeting the curve. Just at the next. They are a little bit narrow, but you know, you can change the thickness up as however you want. But, let's go with that just for now. Okay. So far so good. All right then. So our next job, I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to work from this bubble here, and I'm going to come along and down. You see how it matches this one here? So let's just put that little triangle in. Just join that there. Okay. So this time I'm going to come and see how this line here. So imagine this and this matching. So there. All right. See how it goes through, and then I'll put that little triangle there. So then this one along. See? Little line there. And then again along, and it's going to go underneath. There we go. And this one. So you see why, you know, I perhaps just do a little bit of a sketch of it first, just to get it in that it's all matching and it's following each other that way. Okay, so same sort of thing here this time, but of course we're going to come this way, and that's going to go there. And then of course this one's going to come around and down here. Let's put that little triangle in. And then to this one. There we go. And along. So I'm just systematically working my way along the section. So don't get clever and think, oh, I'm just going to do it in a random sort of format. We want to make sure that you get each one as you work your way along. Okay. So there we go, same sort of thing, look, along and down, it's going into there, put that on the end. Oh, Maureen, wait till you see the finished thing, it looks stunning. It's just getting those steps in and having to go first, and you suddenly, I think, you think, oh my goodness me, I've got it. So it's just getting that little bit of steps, you know, it's breaking it down. Oh yeah. Just into bits. You see now how you know, just by working your way along the lines, you're getting those shapes in there. All right, same here, look. Just keep your eye on it and just keep that focus going. It's just about getting these in the same format. Okay. Just working along the row, just one at a time. There we go. All right. Last row, sort of, isn't it? There we go. Same here. I think it helps putting that little triangle in as you go. It just sort of finishes it off. It gives the sort of the pattern a little bit of structure in there, doesn't it? There we are. So let's have a look here. So we've got to sort of imagine here a little bit because it's going to be down here. So let's just take that one down there and that one down there. Okay. And the same again. It's just going off in its own direction. And that one. Okay. Deep breath. Let's have a look at that. So that's where we're at so far, okay? We've got this kind of elongated design going on. Okay. So let's turn it round now. Okay, let's have a look at this. So where we've got these sort of, they're going down in a row, you see? Down in a row. Down in a row, all the way. So what we want to be doing now is to be doing this way. So if I turn it back again, I'm going to put a curve here and here. Okay, so if I do that with all of them, all right, and the next one, there we are, one there, and there, and there, and then the next one. Okay, but you see here we've got the same sort of thing going, so I can put a half of one there. That's just going off the end. And here you'll just see a bit of one, but then again, same as before, look, curve either side. Curve either side. There we go. Same there, you just get a bit of one at the top. And we want full. And a full. Okay. Last bit. So we're just going to get half of one there, aren't we? Okay. So you can see that now we've got like a vertical, a horizontal, a vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Does that sort of make a bit of sense? Okay, let's come on up then. Let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. So where are we going to go with this? We're going to work the same as before from this bubble, and we're going to bring it. Actually, I'll start with one that's sort of a full piece. No, I'll start here. So I'm going to come round and down and around and down, and let's put that little V on just as before. Okay, then the next one. So this one now I'm going to go round and up here, and up here, and then this one's going to have that little triangle on. So now see, I can do that end one there. There we are. So I'm going to ignore the rest of the tile. I'm just going to work on these sections here. So this one, look, around and down, around and down, and just put that little triangle in on the edge. And then same here, that this time I'm going up bank, because that's where my curve is. On there, look. And this one is down bank. There we go. And then this one's going up bank. Okay, so you see there, if I've got, hang on a second, a full row of that kind of design there. So then let's have a look at this curved line that we've done here. So of course, we're going to look at the dots. We're going to go from this dot and curl upwards, but remember, we want it to join, and it looks like it's going underneath there. I'll put my little triangle in. So then from this point along, oh, you see how it goes? Looks like it's going underneath. So the same with this next one. I'm going to ignore those lines, so I'm just going to do these for a minute. So again, round that dot, up, and it's going underneath. Cool, Ali. I mean, that was cold. I know it looks a little bit confusing, but if you just take your time, and we're doing it exactly the same as we've done for the last sort of maybe 10 minutes, just creating these little curves. There we are, and adding little triangles on the end. Okay, so let's work down to the next row. There you are, just those little curves there. So here we go, from this one down, and adding that little triangle. So then from here down, adding the triangle. From here down. You see, we're just working on a little bit at a time. We're not looking at the rest of the tile at all. Just on that, focusing on that single curve at one time, okay? And then let's have a look at this one. So this time we're going to go up bank, aren't we, towards those curves. So up, and then see it goes on, looks like it's going underneath. Same with this one, so there's my line. You know, so if you feel that you've got to come in with a pencil to start with, then by all means, if that's what makes you comfortable, it's worth a try. Definitely one to try in your practice book. There we go. And then let's have a look. Have we done all of this? Oh, we've got this one. We've done that, look. We've got this one. There we are. Okay. So then down to the next curve. So from the bubble down, little triangle. From the bubble down, triangle. Bubble down. Okay, so each time we're going from the bubble to the curved line. Just adding that, that triangle in. There we are. So then the next curve. So remember, we want to follow through, so it's going to go up here. It looks like it's going underneath there. And then next one, up and round there. So here we go, same thing. So see, I'm not looking at what's happened before. I'm looking at this just to give it a bit of a guide as to where it's going. But I'm not focusing on the rest of it. I'm just working on one dot and one curve at a time. There we go. So it won't be long before we're doing live classes again, isn't it? That's going to be exciting. We've got our date for moving. It just depends on whether, you know, power's on and we can move everything at once, and it's getting it all set up. So next month's going to be quite a busy month in terms of doing that kind of thing. So it's going to be great, isn't it? Being able to meet each other and tangle all in the same room, might be nice. Really looking forward to that. We've got some really good ideas for all things that we want to do in terms of tangling and other things. It'd be nice to get lots of different kinds of crafts going on in there. So, there we go. Okay, here's my next curve. So, just holding on to it. I think actually it's helped having that tile underneath, just holding it in place, but allowing me to just focus on the little bit I need to focus on. Oh, that'd be nice, Chris. Will be great, won't it? You know. So here we go to this curve. I know, Nicola, that'd be great. That'd be great. It'd be like a big family reunion, wouldn't it? We have got some fab ideas. We're not just going to do paper craft and tangling. We want to do some sewing things as well. Because as you know, we do sewing samples and stuff. So nice to show you how to do that. Okay, so last sort of one now. So this is going to sort of just be a part of it. But I'm working in exactly the same way as I did before. Just bringing those bubbles down to that curve. See? And then down there. Oh my goodness me. Oh, Lisa, there's plenty parking. There is. It'd be great. Okay, so I'm just, because I can still see my grid lines, I'm just going to rub them out. Now hopefully yours is going to be nice and light, so you're not going to see them. But there we go, so we've got this going. I know, Chris, but you know what? When you do it and you look at it and you think, oh my goodness, look what I've just done. It's absolutely superb, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I'm going to stick with the pen. Okay, let's just work on, you see where we've got, you know, from the bubble. We're working from the bubble all the time. So let's just bring in that line. I'm going to oar on the inside. Do the same on the other. Okay. And then same on this one. Same on this one. You see? Now, depending on how wide your shapes are, it might work. Putting these lines in, you might decide you don't want it, but I just think it finishes it off and it gives it a neat edge. All right, see, I'm going to go that way. I'm going to work down bank. All right, and then that one. Okay, see what lines going on? So then the next one, you see, I've got these sort of triangles. Let's just sort of fill that in there. And then this one here. Again, you might find that this might be a little bit narrow. If it goes into one, that's fine. Yeah. But it's just about adding that sort of aura in there. So let's go around that shape there. You see? And let's just join that line. And same there. Okay, it's easy now. We've done all the hard work. I'm just going to do that one. And then, of course, this one. And that one. Okay. You see where sometimes it's nice to make sure you join your lines. It's a little bit tricky when you're trying to look through the camera and you're looking from a distance as well. I'm not exactly over the top of my tile, so okay, sometimes it's going to be a little bit like that. So I think while I'm this side, I'm going to come back in and do this one. But you see, I might as well do this one at the same time, hadn't I? There you are. You see? So it's going underneath into there. So if you want to, you can go down bank and do them all. Depends, you can go left to right, up top to bottom, doesn't matter. And there's the other one, look at the bottom there. And then of course I'm going to come back up, just doing these. So one at a time. I'm not worrying about that one at the minute. I'm just doing all the verticals. There we go. Okay, so into the next one. You see we started here, look, so let's take it down there. There we go. Oh, mooring, yeah. Do you know what? We're gonna have all sorts of classes, and I think, as always, they'll be reasonably priced. I just need to work that out. And yeah, we're gonna have classes for new ones, classes if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to try something else, and classes for everybody. And I think also we're going to look at having, you know, classes based on a certain stencil. So maybe, I don't know, if you think that your Christmas wreaths, you need a bit more tuition on one of those, we could do classes on just the Christmas wreaths and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just going to be fun. So it's just going to be a bit of fun and getting to meet people. Okay, so here we go. We're working my way back up. So all along onto these. And again, now this is just about focusing and working just on the little bit that you're working on at that time. So don't try and make it too complicated. I'm just sort of working my way around the shapes working in, you know, towards those bubbles. And then of course it's about coming back and doing the middle bits. So, you know, systematically working your way down and across, still in that grid format really. It just makes life a little bit easier for you. Joanne, what I'm hoping to do is to get some up and running, but also to perhaps have a live link at the same time. So if you really, you know, if you can't get to where we are, then you're not going to lose out. I think that's going to be a nice way of doing it. Plus, you know, that means that we can actually see you, so everybody can still interact. But it's definitely on the plans to do it that way. So bear with me with that. We'll get it sorted. John's been up there the last couple of days. He's working on clearing it out, and we've got to widen the door and things like that in preparation. So we're on the case, I'll let you know. Okay. And into this one. See, through there. Now, because I've just been following these shapes, I'm not losing my way, because I'm just focusing on that column or that row at one time. I'm not trying to make it complicated, just adding these lines in, just to you know, just to define it really. It just gives it an edge. There we go. Looks like a little top, doesn't it? A little top with a collar. Okay, let's just do this end piece. Okay, not forgetting that you've got that bit there. Okay. And again, this one. And then this one. Ooh, let's take a quick breather there. Oh. Okay, so there we go. That's where we're sort of going. And again, you can stop there if you want to, because we've got these lines. You can have a bit of a differentiation. But I'm going to come on in, turning it round. And then I'm going to do the same again. And I'm going to add this aura line around the shapes going this way. Oh, I missed one there. Okay, so again, just follow the shapes bit at a time. Just focus on the bit that you're working on, nothing else. Let's do that bit first. And then I'm going to do both edges, I think, and then I'll do the middle bit. You know, if you find that you haven't got space to do two lines in the middle, that's fine. You can join it together. So, you see, just taking my time. So whether you want to do the outer edges like this first, what we've done there, oh, I see. And then come back and do those bits. It's entirely up to you. Just want to work around each piece. Yeah, there you go. See, I should have done that line there. That's one of the original verticals, but I'll just get that one done. There we go. You see, it's exactly the same sort of format. Oh, Lisa, please don't, no, honestly, don't try and keep up, it's fine. As long as you get the gist of it and you can see where I'm headed, then you can sit and do it at your own pace. I want to just sort of, this is why I've done the whole tile in this design, because I wanted you to get this sort of design in your head, and that sometimes means doing the whole thing. Of course, you could have done a tiny tile, just had a little go. But, it just needs a bit of space, you see, just to get these things in. And certainly once you've had a go, that's Now let's go a little bit larger. Just focus on the bit at the time. So you see, I've now got this piece here. So I'm going to fill that piece in. And then the next piece. You see? Now this one sort of works because then I can come up and do the between the two. Okay. And then this one. So just continue working within those columns, within those sections. All right. And then you're not going to miss one. Or I hope not. I mean, you can go back to it, but I think it's nice to get that system going, isn't it? Oh, Rose, if you... yeah, I don't think you're going to seriously notice it, if I'm honest. I think once you've done it all. But if you find that it's one of them and you've perhaps got a piece wrong in a section, you could always fill it in, completely cover it with a black pen. Then let it dry and then go back over it with a white pen. So it looks like you did it on purpose then. You've got a bit of a white on black, then black on white. Would look pretty cool. Or you could always do a smaller or a different version of it on a tiny tile and put your tiny tile over the top. So don't despair. You know, this is one that you want to have a go at, and it might be something you think, oh, no, I can't, but just keep at it. It's just a systematic one, this is. And it's started to look really complicated now, but as long as you've put your lines in to go with, so just take your time. There we go. But the results are pretty cool. I like this one. There we are. See, and going from those, see, I'm glad we put those little triangles in because that's really helped as well, and it defines each section. There we go. Just doing that last bit now. To here, look. So you're just going to get a little bit of those. Okay. Now, as you know, we've always got to try these things, and even if it looks a bit scary, you've got to give it a go, because how are you ever going to prove? There you are. Let's have a look at this. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. So, okay, we want to sort of mix it up with a little bit of colour. Now, of course, you can come in with your coloured pencils, your pastels. You could just use a regular pencil, which I have got a sample of in a short while, and I'll show you. But, okay, here we go. Here's my my paints. Let's just work it up a bit. There we go. So, okay, here's my paints. There we go. So I've got a mixture. I've got the neons, which are over there, you see. The pearlescent, and then I've got the 3 metallics there. It's a case of what do I want to use. I think to start with, I'm going to sort of practice. I'm going to mix the 2 colours together. So let's go a bit larger. So we're going to work on, let's work on this one. So at the moment, I'm just going to come in with pure water. Okay, you can see I've already been using them. See, I've got a bit of a coloured water going on there, but you can see, look, it's definitely just water in there. I'll do the same with this bit underneath. You see how it's sort of, that then joins into there. So I'm going to go to there, so that's where I'll stop. I'm just going to fill it, so I've got water in. Okay, just dry, there you go, dry my brush off a bit. And I don't know, let's bring in some blue. So this is one of the pearlescent. Okay, so I've got quite a flat brush there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch it on the bits where I want it to be sort of a thicker or stronger colour. And the same there, you see. So of course there. So this is where you'd normally put your pencil. So if you're using pencils, or your regular pencil, that's where you'd normally put your pencil. You see it's starting to bleed already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush off that excess colour. And then just a little squeeze in my brush, just using my hand there, so I've got a bit more water on it, a bit more clean water, and I'm just going to touch the edges, just the sort of edges of where the paint's touching the water on its own, you see there? So I'm just trying to keep those dark bits in the dark there. See, I can come in with a little bit more colour if I want and just add it in. Just sort of almost like I'm adding a bit of shadow, you see. There we are. And the tempting thing now is to brush across that. But if you brush across it, all that work you have and all that effort of getting it to sort of blend in itself, you're going to lose. So as much as you want to, and it's tempting, leave it as it is. Okay, so I'm just going to come in again and we'll get with them. See, sometimes I have just a little bowl of clean water at the side of me, as well as using the water from the brush. So this is just pure water again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the whole line. There we go. So I just sort of pull it out a little bit. You see, okay. So look, back in, back in with the blue. All right. Okay, now as I'm working both sides, see like that, and I've got a nice flat brush. So again, I'm just going to apply it. You see, it's starting to do its own thing anyway. So just where I would normally put the pencil. And in there. You see it's starting to run a little bit there. Okay, and then I'm just going to sort of, now when I say wipe it off, if you wanted to, you could put it onto your palette and come back and use it in a bit. And I'm just sort of touching, just to sort of help it flow a little bit. Don't want to overdo it. There we go, see here? But then I'm going to leave it. So you see it's got like sort of elements of it, hasn't it? Okay, I'm just going to sort of quickly create another one of those rows. You see, I've got a little bit of blue in my water. I don't mind so much, but you don't want it to be too blue. See, if I go over the lines, don't worry about it. You can always come back in with a white gel pen, or maybe a gold or a silver. There we go, bit of blue now. Now, how quick is this going to dry? It depends on where you are. So if you're in a conservatory with lots of sun in there, it's not going to take long before it dries. Whereas if you're, if you're in the front room and it's quite shaded, it might take a bit longer. But you want to give it a chance. So again, I've just sort of removed the water and the ink, so I'm just sort of touching it just to help it move a bit. But other than that, you see where that's working? Ali, it's one of my regular cream tiles. It's it's like a cartridge paper. But if you were doing it on one of the other tiles, it would work as well. It would still take the water. This will take more water. So if you're thinking that if you're not careful, you can be tempted to sort of really go for it, then use one of these. But yeah, the others will take some water as well. So don't worry about it. I can't say, what it would be like for other papers and tiles, but I know how it works with mine. So that's all I can sort of advise you on, really. I mean, using watercolour cardstock or watercolour paper is fine when you're watercolouring, but if you then want to go and tangle over the top of it, it can be a little bit tricky because your pens don't want to go over the texture of the watercolour paper. So you've got to sort of go with what you feel right with. If you like working with it, if you like the quality and the paper you're working on, then go for it. It's whatever works for you, so to speak. Okay. All right. So, see, I could come in and just add the colour. You see, like that. You see, it's not moving at all because there's no water to sort of help it move. And then, of course, bring in the water and just touch it on the edge. That's sort of a little more controlling if you want to do it that way, you see. So you get a similar effect. See, like if I just put the colour on, see it's a lot stronger, but you've got to work quite quick with this. Bring in the water and just touch it, but you're really wanting to leave little bits of white if you can, which is why I like to bring the water on first and sort of, offer the paint up to it. You see, because it then does it. So you see the difference? It's wanting to travel already. But as I say, if you want to go ahead and use a regular pencil, you can do that anyway. So whatever works for you. I just thought that being that I'd brought these to the show, it was nice to do a tile with them, so you could just see where it was headed. Okay, let's just bring a bit more water in there. There we go. Just, you see, just bring in that water in. Don't get tempted and think, oh, I'm just going to add water to all of it and work on it that way, because by the time you get to it, your water's going to be disappearing. So we just work with a line at a time. Okay. And again, just a little bit of water there, nothing much. Okay. See how we're getting that sort of rose at the minute. I'm literally just using one colour blue. It's quite small, so I've not mixed the colours, so it's just the blue pearlescent, which was the 288. Yeah, it's 288, the one that's at the bottom of the palette. Okay, it's just because you see there, look, I'm adding more pigment, so it's going to look darker than that bit there. You see? Okay, so let's have a look. So you can see it's still a little bit wet, but you can see, look, that pearlescent. You see how it shines? Okay, so I'm going to let's bring in something completely. Oh, no, let's go with the neon green. Okay, so again, I could come in, look, just use the paint as is. Here we are. So now this time, I'm going to work this way. So see, I've just got the green. That's lovely, isn't it? Just adding little bits in. So there we go, all the way down one row. Okay, I've missed a bit of blue there. It's not to worry, I'll come back and do that later. And then of course in with the water. See? You know, because it's, even though it's a neon, it's not really a seriously vivid, it's just nice. Yes, Mum, they are well used. I always think if you've got some paints, I know that they're really high quality and they weren't the cheapest that I could have brought, but I wanted the right ones. But they do last. They are going to last a long time, and they're going to perform every single time. They're not going to fade or go wishy-washy, and you're going to get good quality results from them every single time. So it's an investment, and it's it seems like a little bit of an outlay, but once you've got them, they are gonna last a long time, and you're gonna get really good results with them. Okay, so you see where that's sort of heading off there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave it there because you've seen now how I sort of do that. Okay, so there's a couple of other things I just sort of wanted to show you. I'm going to bring in a tile here that I've part shaded and part left. Just give me a second. and I've part painted just because I want you to see the different ways of doing it. So here we go. All right, so you see there I've got the two colours and it's dried. Let's just have a look at that. So once it's actually dried off, what I've actually done is I've come in and on each of those sections here, see I've added an extra triangle. Now I wanted to sort of, I can't really do that on here yet because it's not quite dry. Let's have a look. Let's have a feel. Yeah, so it's going to sort of come in there, you see, little triangles. But again, doing it, it's almost dry. There you are, doing it within them afterwards. You see, getting quite a striking sort of black, but you've got to wait till it's dry. So you see, you're getting a different sort of feel for it. But in terms of shading, if you come on in with your pencil and you add in shadow here and here, just like we did with the paints. There we go, you see. Now I'm even I'll do the coloured one in a minute. There we go. So on each of those sections there, and then on those areas there. So wherever something looks like it's going underneath something else, I'm going to add, oh see, I missed out that there, look. So I mean, you come back and see something. So yeah, anywhere that you think it's going underneath, you see? So that's going underneath there. You're going to add your pencil in. Okay. So then in with the tortillon, which I did have, he's rolled off somewhere. There he is. Just ever so gentle. You're just going to soften the edges. But what you actually want to do is try and leave a little bit of white in the middle. Let's add a little bit of pencil there. There we are. Okay. You see, just sort of, they're only little bits. Now, of course, if your sort of grid was a little bit larger, then these pieces would be bigger, so you could do more with them. But I wanted you to sort of see how it was all put together. A small version. Of course, you can come in and you can add your own different tangles to these sections, and you can create some really pretty cool designs. So we hadn't got all the time for that, so you can see where that's sort of headed, and that's going to sort of look a little bit like that when it's done. But then you see this bit here is dried off, so if I come in and add pencil over the top, actually I quite like it, you know, part coloured monochrome and part coloured as well. I just think it just sort of highlights some of the points. But again, I'm just adding pencil in straight over the top, just as before. So I'm not giving it any special treatment, anything like that. There we go. Is that all? Right there, look. And then back in with that tortillon. Oh, see, I said have I missed any? I have, look there. So you see, you're still getting the colour underneath, but then you're getting your three-dimensional shaded effects as well. Just by adding that touch of pencil over the top. Just gives it that extra bit, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Okay, so, oh, doesn't want to move down. Okay, so working at it with just the watercolours. So there we go, that's the starting point. You see where it's sort of headed there. And it's nice to sort of mix the pearlescence with the neons on their own. But once you've added some shadow, if you add it and you've just got pencil, you see that I've added those extra little triangles in there. Just gives it a little bit more of a dimension. So yeah, come on in with your pencil and do just as we've shaded. But then once your watercolour's dry, you can go on in and add more pencil over the top to give it a bit of dimension. So what you could do is you could take a section, I don't know, maybe just a section here. If you've got a piece you think, I really like that bit, but this bit's not so good, then highlight this bit and just do this in a colour, just like I've done the corner there. And then this bit's going to really stand out and the rest's going to sit in the background. So what I will do is I will finish this one and, you know, get all the paints in, let it dry and put the shading on, and I will post that one on the page along with this one so you can see where it's sort of headed, so you can see that that's what we worked on. But of course it's going to take another, I don't know, another 20 minutes or so by the time that one's dry, so I will finish that one. But you see that's where it's heading, and it's just lovely, I think, how it works and interacts and goes under and over. So I think there's a lot of scope for that, so that's why we've focused this whole sort of session on it. So have a bit of fun with it and give it a go. But yeah, body, please go a bit bigger to start with if you want to. It's absolutely fine. There's you know, however big you want to go, but work on at least, I would say, a minimum of 6 squares. If you've got any less, you're not going to quite get the pattern going. So have a go at it, and yeah, let me see how you get on. And I hope I've given you a little bit of a hint into using the paints as well. But yeah, enjoy them and have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to see what's coming with these. So all right, I will see you again on Friday at 2 o'clock, all being well. And in between, you should be getting some dragons and phoenixes arriving. So have fun with it and take care, everybody. And I will speak to you again on Friday. Oh, Rose, quick one, yes. And I'm sure some of the ladies who do the creative samples for me are going to post them as well. So yeah, I will take some photos and get them on there for you. All right, you take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye.